Okay, the Village of Hainesville regular board meeting will now be called to order on June 28th, Tuesday at 7:04 p.m. If everybody would please rise and lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Soto.
Present.
Trustees Jurnaski.
Here.
Priest.
Here.
Duberstein. Here. Barrett.
Here.
Daly.
Here.
Walking.
Here.
Okay, we do have a full board, so we are in quorum. Unhappily have to report that Wally did not bring us back a load of fish. We hope we'll do better next year. And at this time, I'd like to ask for a motion for approval of tonight's agenda.
So moved.
Second. Roll call.
Trustees Jurnaski.
Aye.
Priest.
Here.
Duberstein. Aye. Barrett.
Aye.
Daly.
Aye.
And Walking.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Before I open the floor to public comments, I just want to share an announcement with the Village of Hainesville. I recently found out our former mayor, Ted Mueller, came in, I think, to pay his utility bill. And it's my understanding that he has to get up very early in the morning. He will be participating in the Chicago Honor Flight as a veteran of World War II. So, Ted, we wish you a spectacular day, and we want to hear all about it when you get back.
I have to be a midway at 4 in the morning.
Oh, God.
You might want to leave now.
Yeah, I'm not walking. Friday said traffic was pretty bad today, so yeah.
Take a limo.
I am.
Good man. Okay. At this time, we'll take any public comments. If there's anybody that would like to address the board. Going, gone. All right, at this time, I'd like to ask for a motion for approval of the omnibus vote agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Trustees Jurnaski.
Aye.
Priest.
Aye.
Duberstein. Aye. Barrett.
Aye.
Daly.
Aye.
Walking.
Aye.
Okay, I know we have a lot of things to get to this week, so I'm going to keep my announcements brief. You know, Russ Crayley just finished his last week with Riverwoods and retired, so he will now be more available to the Village of Hainesville. So Russ and I will have a meeting next week to talk about his availability and schedule, and we've been really having to crack down and pursue minor violations and recently a few severe violations of different types of codes, you know, with people not maintaining their property properly or repairing things when they get damaged. So we will be working on that over the next couple of weeks. And also I just want to thank John Jurnaski and both the clerk, deputy clerk, and treasurer for their assistance in trying to pull information that we'll be using to talk about later tonight on business for the Hainesville Fest. At this time, are there any announcements or requests from any of the standing committees? Okay, let's move on to business. I have some copies to hand out. Our copier was giving us quite a fight, so bear with me while I quickly get these passed out. Yesterday morning, Brett Reynolds, the director of the Glenview Dispatch, that does the dispatching for Grays Lake Police Department, came and met with me. Also, Jim Rock, the village attorney, came and met with us, and we reviewed some responses that we received from the CENTCOM director, Lisa Berger. And we don't have as much information, particularly on CENTCOM's end, that I had hoped for and also have been requesting for a number of months now. So what I have passed out to everyone is a letter which I directed to Lisa Berger, the director at CENTCOM, and the entire CENTCOM Jets Board, asking them for a special meeting to be called. I'm asking them to review the March 22nd Jets Board meeting minutes, which were just distributed today at the 1 o'clock meeting. And if they would pay attention to that meeting and the reference to Jim Rock and I attending, that we would like to keep moving forward on that issue, and that they provide a date at the earliest convenience that the Jets Board can meet with us so that we can move forward on this issue. And then I just attached the section of the minutes that I referred to. It's on page 2 of this Jets Board meeting minutes, and it goes over to page 3. So I do not plan on having any more discussion this evening, but as early as the next board meeting or the second July board meeting, I expect or would hope that we would finally have a lot more information and things for us to talk about, and things that Jim Rock will be guiding us through, such as do we want to reroute the 911 calls or don't we, and what is the difference in service, what changes does that involve, monies involved, savings spent, and so on. So as I get information, I will forward it to all of you. And then the other big topic under business is the Hainesville Fest. I'm going to turn the floor over to John Daranoski. He's the chairperson of the Community Relations Committee, and let him update us. I will pass out, John, we did get the copier to cooperate to make copies of what we went over earlier at our meeting, so 3 copies here. 4, okay, take one down.
No, I need one for Kelly.
They don't have actual
We good?
Yeah, we do. So what we did this year was we went to a couple of the different vendors that we had went to last year. Namely, number 1 being Awesome Amusements, or however they want to pronounce their name. It's and we looked at the invoice for last year, and the last year's invoice was $7,500
Yes.
for them.
Yes.
And which seemed high. And since we're looking to still do the fest at maybe a lower cost, I had talked to their sales rep, and we were able to get them to do essentially the same services that they did last year with a few minor tweaks. Last year we had a 25-foot slide. This year they're having a 23-foot slide. And last year we had the Euro Bungee. Unfortunately this year it is not available, so in substitution we're going to do what's called a merry-go-round, which is kind of like a tilt-a-whirl without the tilt. And the carts, the enclosures are shaped like giant strawberries. And do everything else that they did last year, the tables, the chairs, the tents, and everything else, and we got them down to $5,700 instead of the $7,200 that we had paid last year. $7,500 that they had paid last year.
And that's delivering it, setting it up, and
Delivering, setting up with the attendants and everything, and their own generators. Obviously, for the merry-go-round, they'll have their own generator, and they'll have their own generator for the giant slide as well. So everything said and done, $5,700, which is $1,200 in savings just right there. Also, Burris Equipment Rentals is who does our generators. We were able to get them to provide the same package as they did last year for the exact same price, no price increase or anything else. So I always consider that a win when you can get last year's price this year. We had also, for the same, I kind of really didn't give them much of a choice. I said, so we can get this for the same price as last year, right? With the Crown Rentals, because I think they did a phenomenal job. I know it sounds a little cheesy, but with the porta potties last year, they were really nice, and so we actually got them to do those for the same price as they did last year as well. No price increase. They're still gonna drop them off on Friday, pick them up. They do all the cleaning and everything for us. We're still gonna have the hand washing stations. We're gonna have the handicap accessible restrooms, as well as the 2 deluxe models, which I don't know, I used them last year. They had flowers in there and everything, so I thought that was pretty nice. We are going to be serving lunch from 12 to 2. Meal tickets for the adults, which is going to include either a burger or a hot dog, chips, and a drink, is going to be $3. And for children 7 to 11, it's going to be $2, and kids under 6 get a free hot dog. So, you know, I think we're trying to keep the affordability factor there for the residents while still, you know, recouping some of the cost for providing all of the food.
And we'll be cooking the food.
Yeah, and we'll be cooking the food, so see us behind the grill. What we decided to do also is, rather than have 2 places of point of sale, we're going to do the meal tickets, so that rather than having people collect money at the entrance to the grill, we were thinking of doing where you buy the value bracelets, because we are bringing those back because they were a huge, phenomenal hit last year. We did $995 in the ticket sales for the unlimited bracelets and for a couple of the other things, but mostly it was based on that, and that was the biggest amount of money we had ever made on those, on the amusement sales. So we're really looking forward to doing that again. We had also put in a tentative budget of $1,500 for the hamburgers, hot dogs, condiments, buns, the chips, and the drinks that we're going to serve, and popcorn for the popcorn machine over at the station. We are going to do, we're going to have a couple of bands this year. Rather than doing the karaoke, we decided that and the DJ, which wasn't a real big hit last year, we decided to cut that because that was very expensive. It was $800.
I'm sorry, for what?
The DJ.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It was a lot of money. It was like $800, and nobody seemed to enjoy what he was doing at all. So we have about 3 bands on tentative hold right now for that date. 1 for sure that we're definitely going to use, and 2 others that we're talking to right now.
And Georgianne Georgianne, the note that we have here, 1 daytime family band potentially, that is their leaflet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Okay. You said we're going to be serving lunch 12 to 2. Well, but we're going to have, you know, a beer tent and wine sampling and things like that. Is there going to be food available for purchase as the evening progresses, or lunch is 12 to 2 and then you're on your own, or what?
Lunch is 12 to 2, and then we're trying to get the another funnel cake vendor.
You see the other offerings below? There's a funnel cake lemonade vendor, and they had a couple other things besides funnel cakes. I just don't recall what it was.
It was a couple other different things, but
I just didn't want to have a
remember
beer tent
last
open
year.
and not have food available to people to.
No, and we will have the free popcorn throughout the whole event like we did last year.
And also, we hope that adults will use their common sense judgment when, you know,
Alcohol
drinking
becomes
on
a laxative of the brain
drinking on
sometimes.
an empty stomach is never a good idea.
Yeah, that's where it
But,
becomes laxative of the brain.
We also, I think last year, the food vendors stopped at 5 or 6 o'clock anyway.
Yes, yeah.
So
No,
even then,
yeah.
we continued the fest for another 3 hours and still had the beer and
Yeah.
the beer and everything.
But Kathy and I did start making a lot of popcorn in the
Yeah.
because I could see people needed it. I walked around handing out popcorn.
We also are trying to get Glenn's Winery. I have a couple emails out to them to, instead of just serving their wine, selling their wines by the bottle, trying to get them to sell the wine by the glass, so that we can get them to do that, because they still have they had a license last year to sell.
Well,
bottles.
they did samplings. They did samplings last year and sold bottles. We decided to start slow with them, but they would like to. They had expressed at the close of last year that they would like to sell by the glass. And that was the other reason we stuck with the restrooms that we did, because if we're going to have wine in here, we figured we better have ample bathrooms available.
I thought the Glenn's people did a real nice job. The crew was very knowledgeable, and you know, they did a nice job, you know, sampling and, you know, making sure that, you know, everybody got a chance to sample their products, take a look at it, their pricing that they have on the bottles is very reasonable.
Yeah, it's not that bad. And little known fact, if you bring their bottle back to them, they give you $1 off on